Guardian and a host of others up for review this morning. All right, we start off with the Punch newspaper, and we have this one as the big story. Emefiele's 753 duplexes. And the story is saying Emefiele's 753 duplexes, federal government to sell houses to low middle income Nigerians. Pregnant woman, Ogun woman flee to Benin Republic as healthcare crumbles. Dad, they've shot me. Family recounts heartbreaking moment. Police killed schoolboy. Defect with me or resign. 𝐂𝐈𝐒 governor tells appointees. And federal government summons. Natasha's lawyers promised defense with factual evidence. Driving against traffic, not enough for police to kill my 13-year-old son, grieving father. Saraki's panel meets Mba after Southeast threat to quit PDP. And more headlines here out of the Punch newspaper this morning. On the Metro Plus page, FCT police recovered 3 stolen vehicles, arrest 8 suspects. And police begin probe as gunmen invade Abuja estate. Kaduna housewife feeds co-wife's baby acid. LASG firm train drivers to curb road crashes. And on the business side of the Punch newspaper this morning, marketers kick as Port Harcourt refinery faces shutdown for maintenance. Dangote, Niger government unveil rice projects. Federal government vows to strengthen domestic carriers. All of that are some of the headlines here out of the Punch newspaper. We also take a look at the Nation newspaper this morning. There are quite a number of headlines here. 36 governors lose bids to reclaim 1.8 trillion naira, 450 billion naira recovered funds. 2025 UTME, DSS police arrest 20 for hacking JAMB website. 𝐂𝐈𝐒 governor's defection notice excites APC jolts PDP. And latest news here on the Nation newspaper front page. Senate engages forensic experts to trace crude oil theft. Minister warns against deepfake videos targeting public officials. Owa Obokun, Tinubu approves rehabilitation of Ilesha-Ife-Ibadan Expressway. New NNPCL board pledges transparency. Vandal electrocuted, order arrested after plundering transformer at Osun Prayer Ground. All right, a bit of entertainment. I'm a blank canvas. That's according to Uzo Arukwe. And more headlines here out of the Nation this morning. Just in, Delta Reps member defects to APC. Ekiti APC leaders endorse Uyebanji for second term. 2027 Southern Youth Coalition rallies support for Tinubu's second term. Stop distracting Senate. Federal government Tinubu's coordinator wants Natasha. How Delta NOA Directorate drives grassroots mobilization. All of that are some of the headlines here out of the Nation. We also look at the Vanguard this morning. We also have a lot of headlines. Tinubu admits term. Who are the people government is satisfying? That's an assessment here, and that appears to be a feature. The hidden hands behind Boko Haram. 2027 election results have been written. Democracy is gone. That's according to Showore. And national carrier off the table. Federal government to demolish old Lagos Airport terminal. APC, a creation of anger, bitterness has never been serious. Lamido speaking. Airlines airlifting passengers without entry visas risk sanction. That's according to Interior Minister. U.S. shifts focus to investment-led strategy in Africa. Ground rent. FCTA begins takeoff of PDP Secretariat, INEC, CBN, NNPCL. PDP acting chairman Damagum defends ties with Wike. And Tinubu doing well, but should tackle insecurity. Senator Neda Emasiwe. New ASU president Piwuna laments state of the nation. And still here on the Vanguard, Tinubu at midterm, right, taken earlier. And a bit of more politics. PDP crisis. Saraki-led reconciliation committee members visit Governor Mba. PDP acting chairman Damagum. Defend ties to Wike, denies incompetence. All right, defect with me to APC or resign. Governor Eno tells commissioners orders. All of that are some of the headlines there on the Vanguard. All right, we also look at The Guardian, and The number of headlines there on The Guardian this morning. On the Guardian here, we have this one. ASUU hints at strike after exhausting patience with corrupt Tinubu government. All right. We also have this one. Senate passes bill for Federal Medical Center in Southern Kaduna. Tinubu will fall in 2027. 𝐒𝐏𝐿 Atiku meet in Osun. Akinfenwa region divide in digital payment ecosystem. Lifestyle. Africa's cinema shines at TAF. Celebrates 10th anniversary. FEM commits to helping SMEs over 13 problems. Arewa 24 activates CSR initiative to leverage new program. All right, we also have this one other latest news. Group trains 50 girls on reproductive health, financial literacy. All of that is what the Guardian is capturing for us this morning. All right, we also take a look at the Daily Post and pick some headlines here out of the Daily Post. 20 suspects arrested over hacking of 2025 UTM results. APC created from anger, malice, bitterness was never serious. Former Governor Lamido. Sit-at-home order in Southeast now ineffective. Rebuttal on security gains under Tinubu. 2026 Osun APC forbids elders apex leaders from coordinating for Yuba aspirants. And this says if a senator defects, he loses his seat. Akpabio's old post resurfaces as defections rock Senate. All right, still here on the Daily Post. Nigeria's sugar crisis, a myth economy may pay price for believing it. And we also have more headlines. User position to attract more projects to Ibadan land. Olubadan tax Alabi. Army records more victory as troops neutralize 21 terrorists in Katsina. All right, we do have Austin Udumu standing by, but we'll take a look at the cable a bit more and have Austin do the analysis proper for us this morning. All right, security operatives arrest 20 suspects for hacking jam CBT servers. And that's the big story here on the cable. Federal government to penalize airlines lifting passengers without visa into Nigeria. Aviation now contributes $1.7 billion to Nigeria's GDP, says FAN MD. Police arrest Osun prison escapee in Lagos. And no roadmap to guarantee my re-election, Umo Eno says he's leaving PDP. Atiku visits 𝐒𝐏𝐿 in Osun. PDP secretariat risks being sealed off as FCTA takes over. 4,794 revoked properties. Kano Judicial Commission recalls judge for secretly jailing petitioner. 36 governors lose bid to reclaim 1.8 trillion naira recovered fund. The Supreme Court declines jurisdiction. Jonathan, no law were designed to protect Nigerians when oil was discovered. Troops kill 16 ISWAP fighters in Borno. IPOB sit at home, and he says home orders becoming ineffective, says the NSA. Rebado here, IPOB sit at home orders becoming ineffective, says Rebado there. And of course, we take one more and have Austin do this analysis. We have this one here, and this says 𝐾𝐇 signs deal with logistics firm to develop solar energy project here in Nigeria. All right, Austin, good morning. It's great to have you join us on the Break It On this morning. All right, Austin, can you hear me?
GBOLABO, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can, Austin. Good morning. It's great to have you back on the Break It On.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
Oh.
Yes, I
all right,
Austin.
that's
Good morning. It's great to have you back.
okay. Well, we'll try to put that back on to have Austin back on with us. We'll take more headlines here out of the papers. Okay, we'll take this one from the Daily Trust and pick some headlines here out of the Daily Trust newspaper front page. We'll try to get Austin audio this morning back on the virtual platform for the analysis itself. All right, Austin, can you hear me now?
Yeah, GBOLABO, good morning.
Good
I can
morning.
hear you loud and clear now. Thank you for having me.
All right, thankfully you can actually grab that. All right, we start off with this JAMB website being gotten or being hacked into by some individuals, and we have the security apparatus actually moving into action to ensure that those who actually did this penalized or brought to book. But then how then do we explain this? A whole website belonging to a government establishment that has the logistics, the resources, and what appears to be the security code to prevent any sort of hacking. Do we see that it's a way that the government wants to come out with a clean slate coming from JAMB, or possibly this is what happened?
Yeah, we cannot say that it didn't happen. Since people have been arrested, a confessional statement has been obtained, preliminary investigation has suggested that this was what actually happened. In my view, JAMB has really been transparent as far as this matter is concerned. So most time, we Nigerians really need to define what we want. You know, the JAMB CEO came out to say that, oh, this was what happened. There were errors on our part, and we are going to make amendments by giving opportunity to these students to redo this exam again. And this is what has happened. JAMB chairman has just said that, oh, I am not going to dismiss these people. I'm going to take responsibility. Some of them have been our vendor for a long time. We are going to get to the roots of the matter. And JAMB is actually digging deep into the situation now. From the preliminary statement that was obtained, it shows that some school owners, some private school owners, and some college owners have connived with some IT experts to actually tamper with the system of JAMB in order to give high scores to some category of students in some special CBT center. These things are possible in the Nigerian context. We know how it works. Even in advanced technology, system are still be acting to. So what we need to do as a people is to allow JAMB this opportunity, let security operatives do their needful. Because when this issue happens, all of us say, oh, those who are responsible for this must be brought to justice. And I can tell you for free, it is not Oloyede that will definitely be responsible for this. There are people, there could also be connivance on the part of JAMB officials. All of this investigation will reveal. But by and large, this is what JAMB has come up with. 20 people have been arrested by DSS and the police, and some people have made confessional statements that actually they were paid, because some people were being paid, according to the report, between the range of 700,000 to 2 million just to get a high score in JAMB. So if we find out that this is exactly what happened, of course, in JAMB, it is not everything we'll come up with and say, oh, government is bad, oh, we are blaming government for this. This is an agency of government, this is JAMB, and JAMB has been reputed to have done well for the period under review. That's the truth. As for mass failure, you know, when this news broke, I said, for mass failure, a lot of factors are responsible for that. But if there are technical glitches, error on the part of this body, let them own up to their error. And their chairman has come out to own up to their error and say, no, this is what happened. We are going to take responsibility. We are going to make sure that these people, they have opportunity to rewrite their examination. In my opinion, that is fair and good.
All right,
for those that have been arrested, let investigation continue. All those that are connected, involved one way or the other, even school owners, all of them must be brought to justice.
All right. I wanted to also ask that the individuals that have been caught, about 20 of them, do they discard of these individuals? These are people who are highly, very intelligent. For them to have hacked into JAMB website, it means that in terms of IT, they are very good. Should JAMB just say that they should be put behind bars if they are found guilty at the end of the day, or use them as part of their system, bring them on board to help JAMB in the process itself, if JAMB is saying that this happened?
Yeah, this is a purely criminal offense for now. They have to face justice. We cannot just say, oh, because we arrested these people, then we just integrate them into JAMB to come and help us. It's just like arresting armed robbers. Then you just take them to the station, give them gun to go and help catch other armed robbers, or to go to Boko Haram and go and fight them. The cause of justice must prevail. These are people who do this for pecuniary reason. Let them face the law. At the end of the day, if they are prosecuted, the government can say, okay, how do we rehabilitate them into the society? Because we need to tap into their IT or technological skill. that is a different ball game entirely. Anywhere in the world, when criminals are arrested, they are treated as such. If you want to give them opportunity to tap into their way, we can also open the door for those who have not committed this crime yet. There are some IT guys who are very vast out there who have not committed this crime. So we can tap into that rather than saying, oh, maybe we should just leave them, integrate them into the system, let them come and be happy. That will not serve as a deterrent because it shows that anybody can just do anything and get away with it. So for this issue, JAMB has taken their step. Let security agencies do their job, investigate properly all those that are connected with this mess, because this was actually a national embarrassment that JAMB conducted exam and some people, their technical glitches could not allow them to do their exam. It does happen once in a while, even in advanced country, but areas where it has happened before, there is always opportunity for a receipt. And JAMB has done that, and I commend them for that. But for this investigation, we must get to the root of this matter.
All right, Austin, let's take a look at this headline. 36 governors lose bid to reclaim 1.8 trillion naira recovered funds. The Supreme Court declines jurisdiction. Now, the Supreme Court is saying get back to the lower court and get whatever submissions that you have in terms of obtaining this 1.8 trillion naira. Now, what do we say? Would we say this is justice for the governors, injustice for the people? What exactly do we pick out of this, Austin?
Well, if you look at the fundamental of this issue, between 2015 and 2021, a lot of assets, looted assets, were recovered to the tune of 1.8 trillion. Now, the federal government of Nigeria had to channel this fund. They paid this money into what we call the CRA, Consolidated Revenue Account. CRA is a portion of account that revenue accruable to the federal government is deposited. So it is the federal government that owns the CRA. Now, the governor's argument is that according to Section 80 of the Constitution and according to our financial reporting standards as far as Nigeria is concerned, the governors are arguing that this money should have been paid into the federation account. You know, federation account warehouses the money that belongs to the 3 tiers of government. So that is the argument of the governor, that these funds were not just looted from the federal government. It belongs to the federal government and the Nigerian people by extension, and states should have access to it. So they went to the court. The Supreme Court is saying that, oh, there is no jurisdiction, you have overstepped your ban, because this case ordinarily ought to have emanated from the Federal High Court. So I do not know, maybe the governors have to go back and say, oh, let's look at the Federal High Court. Don't also forget, during the time of Obono Obla, the federal government has a looted fund account that was created, and that account was domiciled in the CBN. So what the court may come up with in the final analysis of this matter is that whether if the proceeds of crime as a result of the fight against corruption, asset and fund that we are recovering, whether the federal government can warehouse it all alone without having to share for the other tiers of government. That is the argument of the governor. But today, the position is that the money goes into the Consolidated Revenue Account, and Consolidated Revenue Account belongs to the federal government, because money that is in the federation account, they are distributable revenue. The federal government does not have access to it alone. All the money in the federation account, and the law says that, the Constitution says that all money, all distributable revenue must go to the federation account. So the argument of the governor is that this money is supposed to go to the federation account so that it will be shared, and governors, state by extension, will have their own share. But the practice today in Nigeria is that the money goes into the revenue consolidated account, because when they share allocation, for example, all the money that is being made goes into the federation account. Once they share it, the share of the federal government will go into the consolidated revenue account, while the share of the state and local government will go to what they call JAC. So it will go to joint account for local government and for state. So for me, the Supreme Court has ruled that, oh, you lack jurisdiction, you cannot bring this case directly to the Supreme Court. Let's see whether the governors can come up again, file it at the appeal court, and file it at the Federal High Court, and let's see. Of course, the Supreme Court will still have the final say as far as this issue is concerned. For me, it's not Uhuru yet. It is not outside dismissal. Let's see whether they can be able to argue their case and have a share. Because if states have a share in the looted fund, it also means a lot. It's also a good one because the money belongs to all Nigeria, not just the federal government alone.
All right, defect with me or resign. Akwa Ibom governor tells appointees. Now, that's Umo Eno of Akwa Ibom. He has asked all his commissioners and political appointees and his cabinet to either join him in defecting to the All Progressives Congress or step down from their positions. Austin, this was said on national TV, coming from a governor. What do we say? Do we say this is a reckless statement, or possibly this was a case of a politician playing politics?
Yeah, for me, I think the statement is not only reckless, it's also unguided. Umo Eno's statement has suggested largely that he's not a strong politician. He's not in charge, because we didn't hear this in data. Am I right?
Right.
We didn't hear this in data. We have had a state before in Nigeria that everybody cross-carpeted, both assembly member, lawmaker. What Umo Eno is saying is just like, me as a father now will get home, I will gather my children and announce to them that, don't you know that I'm your father? You know, when a father starts re-emphasizing the fact that he is the father, something is fundamentally wrong somewhere. I hope you get it.
Right.
So for me, you appointed them, they are supposed to be loyal to you. You don't need to tell them that wherever you go to, they should be able to go there. And a lot of these people are making us to believe that, oh, anybody can move, there is freedom of movement, there is freedom of association. So, which means that Umo Eno, for example, is preempting the fact that all of his appointees, all of the people that are working with him, may not go with him. I don't know whether you have seen that handwriting. That is what it's looking like. So, for me, Umo Eno is not in charge of politics in Akwa Ibom State, because if you are in charge of politics, I don't think you need to make this type of statement. It was not made in data, and all of them cross-carpeted from head to toe. So, and that is not even the first time that will be happening. So, as far as I'm concerned, Umo Eno is not in charge, and it sense that a lot of these guys may not follow him. The best approach that he will have done politically is to engage in consultation, because the people in data, they have to consult, they have to hold parallel meetings. They heard at state level and the ESCO meeting. From state, they went to local government, from local government to world level. That was how the movement was seamless for them. That should have also been the pattern, because the governor of Delta didn't even make so much noise before he cross-carpeted. But Umo Eno have been making noise. Oh, my defection to APC is imminent. Oh, I'm going to APC. Oh, I'm going to APC. Now you decide to threaten people that if they don't follow you to APC, they are going to lose their job. Honestly, this is uncalled for. That is my view. It is really uncalled for, and it suggests largely of a man who is not in charge politically.
All right, Austin, let's also look at this one. Federal government summons. Natasha's lawyers promise defense with factual evidence. Now, it appears the federal government is interested in Natasha's case here. And the federal government is talking about defamatory statement that has been said against it in the national space itself. Do you think the federal government is doing the right thing in all of this? Because we thought this is just within Senate rules and between the Senate President and Natasha. Now it appears the whole body of the federal government itself is interested in this case itself.
See, it's just like when you have a case with the police and the police charge you to court. Who is that? Is it not you versus the government? Natasha's case is no longer just like the Senate. I don't think we have to be emotional or whip up unnecessary sentiment. She has made a lot of allegations that goes beyond the Senate chamber. So she has to prove a lot of things. That's just the truth. What I'm happy about in the news is that the lawyer has said he's coming with factual evidence. So let's wait for factual evidence. Let us not think that, oh, the whole of federal government apparatus against Natasha. Natasha said Inspector General of Police and Yaya Bello, they had an arrangement to assassinate her. I hope you know the story. So this case against Natasha, the current one, is not just about defamation. There are some things she said that she needs to prove. She said she has evidence that a call, the IGP and Yaya Bello and Ododo made some call, and in that call, she has evidence that they said, oh, don't do it in Abuja so that people will not suspect. So when she leaves Abuja, so you can carry out the elimination. These are weighty allegations. Let us not think because it involved Natasha. It can also, another person can be involved tomorrow. That's not the truth. As I speak to you now, Natasha has nothing less than 8 cases in court that she had to defend just on the case, on the basis of seat reallocation, the metamorphosis into sexual harassment that has not been proven till now. So Natasha should begin to prove something so that Nigeria will take her serious. So let us not think that, oh, the whole federal government is against her. Allegation has been made against the state. So the state can only prove that. If the federal government decides to arrest her now, we will still say, oh, the federal government, Natasha versus the federal government. Now they have gone to the court. Let us test the law. You said this and this, you have evidence. Come to the court and present your evidence. So simple.
All right, PDP Secretariat risk being sealed off as FCTA takes over 4,794 revoked properties. Now, one would say this is the hand of Wike and Austin. Do we say this is a mole that the PDP never saw coming, because it appears everything is working against the PDP under a Wike administration in the FCT? We'll see how much more he talks about the party and the politics in Rivers State itself while being a minister of FCT. Would we say these are mole against the PDP's progress itself?
For me, I don't think it's a move against the PDP. It's a move against the culture of impunity in our system as a people. That's not the truth. Look at the story very well. Those who screamed this headline, they brought it out because of Wike versus PDP issue. A lot of people have refused to pay their ground rent in Abuja. That's the issue. How can PDP have a secretariat and they have not paid their ground rent for over 16 years? And somebody is saying that, oh, you must pay this levy.
Is Wike not a member of the party? Is Wike not a member of the party? How come Wike did not raise the alarm as a responsible citizen?
Wike is a member of the party. You might call him not responsible. That is not the issue. He has his issue. The PDP has their issue. This issue of revocation that we're talking about, a lot of APC stalwarts, including the Speaker of the House of Representatives, including the former President Muhammadu Buhari, those who acquire property and refuse to pay their ground rent. That's the problem we have always had in the country. I pay my ground rent, you pay your ground rent, because we are not politicians, because we are not in government. But those who are in government, Wike has been a member of the PDP all along. Wike membership of the PDP is not directly in charge of the Secretariat administration. Now he became the FCT minister. You know, this was the time, El-Rufai that is looking like Messiah to a lot of people today. This was what happened during his time as FCT minister, when he was trying to modernize the FCT, turn FCT to a smart city. A lot of people rose against him. El-Rufai was not having issue with his party at that time. A lot of people rose against it. They said he allocated land to his wife, and he had to come out on the national television and say, is my wife not a citizen of Nigeria? If she has her resources and she wants a land in Abuja, am I wrong to allocate land to her? A lot of people are paying for their ground rent. So why are people not paying for their ground rent? That's the crux of the matter. This issue, first of all, came up. A lot of people regularized and their name were delisted. But because of political reason, this party refused to regularize. It is something that should not be heard. Wike has this issue, whether politics or what have you. But the truth of the matter is that some of these big people in Nigeria, they are sustaining the government. Money that is supposed to go to the government, they are seizing the money from going to the government. They will not pay taxes. They will not pay ground rent. They will not pay for CFO. They will bypass every other thing. Land use charge, they will not pay. So this is really the issue. Let's address the fundamental. Let's address the issue. It could be connected politically one way or the other. But what I know is that from the report, there are other prominent individuals in Nigeria who are not members of political party, who are not politicians, who are also guilty of not paying their ground rent in Abuja. We can't continue like that. That's the truth.
All right, Austin. Jonathan, no laws were designed to protect Nigerians when oil was discovered. Would we say that is a lame excuse, especially coming from our government itself? Because Jonathan was also part of the process. And now, the governance structure of Nigeria, are we saying that we don't have laws that protect the interest of Nigeria? We do know that the PIB, for instance, is well debated and well heard on the floor of the National Assembly. And of course, it's an act to an extent. Then where does this come from? It's what do we say with this headline, Austin?
Yes, I think it's shameful that when we got oil in Nigeria, we decide to abandon every other thing. So, of course, the former President Goodluck Jonathan is also part of the ruling class, part of the ruling elite. You know, I've always told you this. Most of them, they find their voice when they leave government. Those that are clamoring for restructuring today, they were in government yesterday. They didn't seize that opportunity. But the issue is that when you look at what oil has done to us, in terms of gas flaring, in terms of how we have abandoned agric as our mainstay and click to oil. Now, oil is neither here nor there. People are also migrating from crude all across the world, but that is still giving us the biggest of our revenue today. Of course, the government today is trying to look at alternate source of revenue apart from oil. A lot of Nigerians, especially people from the Niger Delta, they will tell you that oil, rather than being a blessing, has become like a curse. So to a large extent, former President Goodluck Jonathan actually know what he's saying, that since we discover oil, no law to protect Nigerians. You extract oil. We talked about Ogoni cleanup. Was it not yesterday or 2 days ago? We talked about Ogoni cleanup. What is the law that is meant to protect these people, that is meant to protect the livelihood of these people, that is meant to protect the environment of these people? Because we extract oil, we take money from these people, and yet their environment is degraded and nothing is being done to it. So that's the context in which former president is talking from. And to a large extent, of course, he can be indicting. He might also be an accomplice. He might also be somebody who contributed one way or the other to some of these things while he was in government. But that is just like the obvious truth. It's just re-echoing the truth. But going forward, what can we do to protect our people? You know, for example, let me give you the example of a crude price, for example. If crude price rises in the international market, Nigerians will pay for it in form of increased pump price. If crude price drop in the international market, there will now be marginal reduction. You know, we suffice to say that the common man in Nigeria have never benefited from crude oil in our country. Meanwhile, in other countries that discover oil just almost the same time like we discover, you look at it, as I speak to you now, Norway GDP or foreign reserve, Norway foreign reserve is over $1 trillion. And we discover oil almost at the same time. Their own mainstay, the mainstay of their economy was fish farming. Nigerian mainstay at that time was agriculture. We got oil, we abandoned agriculture. They got oil and they started extracting and still continued their mainstay of the economy, and all the proceeds of oil was going to reserve. And look at what they have built from that today. So I think it's a major problem that we have had to deal with. Let us now see how we can exploit and enhance the opportunities of the PIB to especially cater for the host community. There are individuals in the Niger Delta who are richer than the state. That's the truth. We have some guys in the Niger Delta who are not even critical stakeholders just because they can shake the table. Some of them have private universities, some of them have companies, some of them have investment here and there. Meanwhile, larger percentage of the people, they live in multidimensional poverty. So the government can do a lot to ignite a paradigm shift. So in as far as a lot of people will say that Jonathan can also be culpable in this matter, but I think he's saying the truth.
Okay, before we go on a break this morning, sit-at-home order in Southeast now ineffective. Ribado on security gains under Tinubu. Would we say Ribado is just so quick in doing like an assessment and giving the government a score mark because it's the NSA? We do remember Onitiri, Abiola Onitiri, the video of late MKO when the news sparked that she was behind, allegedly, some of the problems we had here in Oyo State when individuals wanted to bring down the flag of Nigeria and, of course, have that of Yoruba Nation somewhere in the Secretariat and the House of Assembly. Now she's off the radar. People, individuals who were caught have been crying from the prisons in Agodi, from some of the audios that are listened to, saying that she's abandoned, she needs to come out. And now there is a silent war of agitation on this issue of separatists in Nigeria, people wanting to go their own way. Would we say the government is tackling this from the roots, not boomeranging at the end of the day because it's quick? Would you say it's quick for Ribadu to come out and say with his full chests that the government is winning the war against the silent agitation that is still going on in terms of wanting a separatist state itself?
As far as I'm concerned, nothing has really changed. That's the truth. You know, most of the time when you criticize the government, they will tell you that, oh, we are just midterm, we are just 2 years into our administration. At times when they talk about their successes, they would even tell you that this food is still on fire, it's not really done yet. But they will tell you as if we are already serving and eating it. I don't know whether you understand the point I'm making. Of course, the sit-at-home order has really gone down drastically. It is no longer very effective, not necessarily due to the effort of the federal government, like Ribadu has claimed. There was a time Nnamdi Kanu renounced the sit-at-home. I hope you still remember his interview he granted, I think several months ago, where somebody like me felt that we have a change in Nnamdi Kanu now, and I began to advocate for a political solution to his matter. Nnamdi Kanu disowned entirely through a statement personally signed by him that he is not involved in sit-at-home, that sit-at-home should stop. So that makes it a little bit ineffective compared to what it used to be before. Who enforces sit-at-home? Some members of the ESN, and along the line, some cultists, those who are not state actors, they are also part of the people that enforces sit-at-home. Even when Nnamdi Kanu said no, some people were still doing it. So what happened majorly in the eastern part of the country now is that it is no longer like some people are enforcing it or is becoming violent anymore, but just for the fear, people now decide to sit at home on Monday. Initially, I thought it was no longer there.
All right,
until recently, you know, my
Austin,
my wife
I will have you
something
hold
to
your
do.
thoughts a little bit so that we pay this bill. Then we'll be back shortly afterwards. Please do stay with us.
You're listening to 32 FM 94.9.
Mr. Teacher, please, what happens when children come to school? How is it that they leave home very neat and return looking so different?
Non-stop action, ma. All the learning and sports burn energy. So those sweat stains, dirty uniforms and shoes, they show that your kid has been very active.
Now, wow.
Your kids need nourishing energy. Give them Milo at breakfast. It has nutrients that support energy release to help them get the most out of their day. Milo, energy to go further.
Ọjọ́ wo ni pọ̀pọ̀ ṣìṣìn àyájọ́ ọjọ́ àwọn ọmọdé tí iléeṣẹ́ 32 FM? Oṣù karùn-ún lélẹ́yìí. 32 FM dà. Ṣé a lè ṣe àyájọ́ àwọn ọmọdé láìsí 32 FM ni?
A gbọ́ yín, a sì mọ èrò ọkàn yín. Ẹ kú ti mọ̀ wá tẹ́lẹ̀. A dúró tán, a sì ní já yín kulẹ̀. Ṣẹ́yìn náà ti wá ṣetán fún ayẹyẹ àti pọ̀pọ̀ ṣìṣìn àyájọ́ ọjọ́ àwọn ọmọdé tó máa kílẹ̀ gbìgbìgbì jùlọ nílùú Ìbàdàn. Smart Kids and Parents Hangout Season 7 tí yóò wáyé ní Palms Mall Ring Road nílùú Ìbàdàn lọ́jọ́ Sunday ọjọ́ karùndínlọ́gbọ̀n oṣù karùn-ún ọdún 2025 Sunday May 25th 2025. Ó ti máa dùn jù. Àwọn ohun ìṣeré fún àwọn ọmọdé bíi Bouncing Castle tó fún ìgbọ̀ngbọ̀n tí yóò mú káwọn ọmọdé fò fáyọ̀ yóò wà ní ìkàlẹ̀. Kíkọ ojú lọ́nà àrà tí yóò mọ̀ dẹ́rìn pẹ̀kẹ́ àwọn ọmọdé. Eré ọpọlọ, ijó, orin, ẹ̀fẹ̀, ẹ̀rín kéékèèké lẹ́nu àwọn ọmọ. Bẹ́ẹ̀ náà làwọn daddies and mommy wọ́n á máa kópa nínú eré lọ́lọ́kanjọ̀kan pẹ̀lú ẹgbẹ̀rún 5 náírà péré 5,000 naira ńlọ́wọ́ ìwọlé. Èyí wà lẹ́ni òsì nǹkan. Láti ra tíkẹ́ẹ̀tì, ṣagbátẹrù tàbí fún àlàyé síwájú ẹ pè Sùnbọ̀ sórí nọ́mbà yìí 0704 017 4981 tàbí Bọ́láńlé sórí nọ́mbà yìí 0810 067 2518. 32 FM 94.9 Ìbàdàn ló ṣagbátẹrù ẹ̀ pẹ̀lú àjọṣepọ̀ Ride Games, Sunchcon Sticks, Hallelujah Oil, Kellogg's, Fammi, Pop Cola, Techno, Boom, Design Bricks, Viju, Accessibles, Beta Jollof, 712, tó fi mọ́ Engineer Akeem Oyèdélé Àlàó. Ọmọ tèmi ò ní gbẹ̀yìn.
Welcome to Bet Great. Bet on sports. Confirm bonus up to 350% and stand a chance to win with Bet Great. You can cash out and auto cash out whenever you want. So you're always in charge. Na casino game you want? You can pilot yourself with Bet Great on Aviator and much more. And be in cruise control. Join using promo code GOAL and get your welcome free bet. Experience these and much more in our shops or online on betgreat.com. Be great. Bet Great. Bet responsibly. Only 18 plus.
My name is Tiwa. I can't wait to attend the Smart Kids and Parents Hangout on Sunday. I have gotten my tickets. Have you gotten yours?
Congratulations, you have won 10,000 naira on the Cocoa Box raffle. You too can be a winner on the Cocoa Box raffle. Pick up your phone and dial *347*253# for 200 naira only. Follow the prompts. The bank is Paystack Titan. And stay tuned for the live raffle on Isheya at 9:30 a.m. Call and win game show 2 p.m. Kill at Ishe 3 p.m. Again 5 p.m. and WhatsApp Niger 6 p.m. 2 winners will be picked on each show. The more you play, the more your chances of winning. Cocoa Box is in partnership with 32 FM 94.9 Ibadan.
Tifa bá wọlé tọ́ ní fàáfàá Jifa. 32 FM, the happiness station, is ready to spread happiness again. Yes, ke? Then don't reach for us to make our listeners smile again. Oh, are you ready? Chetty bro dede. Awufu berekete don't land like traffic lights. If true data is life, now if you say recharge card go come you wait you. If your finger is fast and you are feeling lucky on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, then keep your dial locked on 32 FM 949. Fenye. Nítorí òjò recharge card yóò máa rọ̀ ní gbogbo ọjọ́ Ìṣẹ́gun, Ọjọ́rú àti Ọjọ́bọ̀. Ìyẹn ní pé every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, time go reach you. Awufu berekete go dey ṣẹlẹ̀ on top 32 FM 94.9 by 8 a.m., 11 a.m., 1 p.m., 5 p.m. Congo reach 7 p.m. Lẹ́yìn tó túmọ̀ sí pé láago mẹ́jọ òwúrọ̀, aago mọ́kànlá àárọ̀, aago kan ọ̀sán, aago márùn-ún àti aago méje àṣálẹ́. If it be red network, if it be green network, it still fit be yellow network. Any which way na way, your own na to stay alert and stay active on 32 FM. Ló bá tán, mọ́ gọ́ọ̀kì ẹ̀ láfàwọ́dá.
You want like Vinny Junior? Èmi tí mo phenomenal gangan.
Feel better about your life.
32 FM, 94.9, the antidote to depression.
All right, you're welcome back. It's still the Break It On Papers Review here on your laptop at 32 FM 94.9. And Austin, you may want to complete your line of thoughts before we went on that break itself.
Yes, on the issue, we're still talking about the issue of
the agitation.
Jonathan. Yeah. Was it Jonathan issue?
The separatist issue, the IPOB, the NSA issue.
For Nnamdi Kanu, yeah.
Exactly.
It was not necessarily the effort of the federal government, like as I was saying. Not until recently, I never knew that. I thought there was no longer sit at home in the East until my wife traveled for an engagement recently, and lo and behold, on Monday, she couldn't fly. So I now realized that, it's still in operation, but it's not so effective as it used to be. But I can tell you for free that that is not largely due to the effort of the federal government, but because IPOB has backed down, especially Nnamdi Kanu, on the issue, and people still move. There is still movement one way or the other, but you can't really move as it were before because people use it as an opportunity that, because of how it used to be, they now stay at home. It's almost like a public holiday for people in the East today. So the federal government is making effort. However, they should allow some of these things to materialize because what Nigerians want to see is visible and obvious result. If there is result, you don't have to be telling me that is this no result? I should be able to, since I'm not blind, I should be able to see some of this result by myself. I think in most of the time they are too quick to go to the media about their achievement. A lot of effort is being made that has never been made in the history of Nigeria before. We must give that to them.
All right.
They should exercise patience to allow some of these things to materialize.
All right, Austin. We'll take this one as our first caller. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Hello.
All right, this is network issues. The numbers are 070-55,949 or 08097,949 plus 234-9062,949. All right, hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, GBOLABO.
Good morning, sir.
My name is Ade from UI. I noticed the way you were asking Augustine on the statement credited to the governor of 𝐒𝐈𝐒 State. I don't even know how to describe the statement. But it's not new. Wiki has been making more than reckless statement more than that. But where I'm going now, GBOLABO, is that you see the standard they arrange. They first make sure that PDP did not have a executive. And when they cripple the party, all of them are now leaving the party. But the solution is in your hand and my hand, GBOLABO. If Nigeria can get PVC and ensure that they vote these people out of power, to make sure that, to teach them that what they are introducing to Nigeria politics will cast in the future. By voting them out and now vote those governors out, they make sure they don't win for second time again. Because people that are going to APC, GBOLABO, tell me one single reason that can attract you, GBOLABO. Tell me that thing that can make you to join APC as a person, that you're not even a politician. I was in the place yesterday, people buy amala for then the woman would like give you meat. The lady said, no. People are eating now, people are trekking. Tell me once, they are now organizing themselves, sharing Nigerian money. I've never seen this kind of people occupying position anywhere in Africa, GBOLABO. That's the best of today.
All right, thank you so much, Dave from UI. And of course, we are live on Facebook in case you also want to drop your comment on Facebook, 32FM 949 Fenya on Facebook. That's a fan page where you can actually drop your comment.
Morning.
Hello, good morning.
Sulaiman Shayu, from Manara.
All right, please go ahead.
I think regarding the grand trend, I think the PDP leaders, they should really put on it. But I want to challenge BK to check the record. What about the APC grand trend? Are they able to pay it? Because if PDP, we are not yet to pay their own. So APC is supposed to pay their own as well. Regarding the statement created by the 𝐒𝐈𝐒, see, you can't force someone, you can take someone, you can take us to the river, but you can't force them to give water. Because if truly you want to return to APC, it's not compulsory for those your aide or your commissioner to join you. Because there is a freedom of association, freedom to join the political party that you belong. Because if all the political parties, if they decide to join APC as well, we the Nigerians, the masses, unemployed youth, they will decide their fate in 2027, just like APC versus Nigerian. But I want to urge Nigerians, let us think twice. Don't let us follow Akipanki propaganda. Because 2027 election, let us use our votes to restructure this country. May God guide us right. That's my submission.
All right, thank you so much for that. On Facebook, Tulokpiadi says, good morning. Why is it difficult for the federal government to come out and apologize to Nigerians on the failure of Port Harcourt refinery because they're only deceiving the people? All right, Miriam Yetude also says, good morning. If after decades of independence, Nigeria still struggles with exam malpractices, it reflects poorly on our seriousness. Boluwatife Ademijuwon says the mass defections from opposition parties to the ruling party are concerning, and however, I believe Nigerians will still, some part of it, will still make informed choices in 2027. Oluwaseun Ruth too wrote here that, good morning too, it's so obvious that the political elites defecting to APC party are after political backing from the ruling party, which really shows they want the country to be one-party state, and I believe we Nigerians should be wise by now. All right, Omadi Adikune says it is very obvious that the APC ruling party is only after 2027 general election and less concerned about the interests of the people. Onile Owo Obamororo says, good morning, GBOLABO. Good morning to the analyst, Austin. In fact, clean, unbiased, and straight to the point analysis. Thank you for that. All right, Michael Olawale Otun Owo says, good morning. 2027 election will be different from all elections from the past. People are getting wiser. All right, Toluwa Lashe Aditola says, it's so unfortunate that there is nothing to show for the Port Harcourt and Warri refineries despite the trillions of amount of money spent. Joa Latilade Gbade says the issue of defection is getting more interesting if the governor of 𝐒𝐈𝐒 forces his cabinet members to join the APC. All right, calls are still pouring in, but unfortunately, we have to leave the studios right about now. I must say a big thank you to Austin Udumo for doing this with us today, and to all our callers and those still calling, they say a big thank you. And to those who dropped their messages on Facebook, we do appreciate. That's the much we can take on the Break It On Papers Review. Do join us next week for another interesting editions of the Break It On Papers Review. My name is GBOLABO, famous school, and of course, Baba Fendo is up next.